Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
It sure is, and I'm Ralph. Behind the camera, what are we making today?
Well, welcome to Cavalcade of Food.
First of all, yes.
We're making lemon chicken.
Our version.
Our version of how we like to make it, and
everybody makes their own, has their own touches, but I think
Right.
Kevin's got a unique twist.
well, everybody does their own thing, but this is how we do it. And what I'm starting with, because they were on sale at the market, is skinless, boneless chicken breasts. Look at these here, Ral.
No, yeah, it's white meat. I like the dark meat. Is
I
it
know.
possible to use dark meat?
Yes,
please?
and in the past we would use, say, a boneless, skinless chicken thigh,
Oh, okay.
which would be the dark.
Looks
but
like
I'm-
you're filleting them.
Well, they're already filleted, but
Oh.
what I am going to do, because filleting is sort of removing the bone, but I'm cutting these. Look how thick they are.
Wow.
See, so what I'm doing is I'm going to cut them in half.
Even thinner, because then you're going to pound them.
Yes, and so this does two things. One, we started with 3 pieces of chicken, and now we'll have 6. But also, it will make it a little bit easier to kind of pound these out thin. And the reason we're going to pound them out thin is because we're going to saute them, which is how they're going to cook.
So there's no breading involved in this recipe?
There is.
Oh, there is. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got to bread them too.
Right.
I just want to say quickly that I'm not against white meat chicken. It's just that often it's very dry and the dark meat tends to be more moist, which I love. So
That's
more juicy.
that is true to that.
So yeah, but when I've had some good white meat that is, chicken that is, juicy and all. But
Well, the key to this is to saute it quickly, and that way,
the juices stay in.
yes, it won't get so dried out. All right, so what I'm going to do, Ralph, is I'm using wax paper. I buy these at the restaurant supply. They're very handy. I love them. They're just kind of pre-torn
they're torn
sheets of wax paper. But you could use plastic wrap
Or traditional wax paper, maybe even tinfoil.
Tinfoil I wouldn't use, but
okay.
and then you need something. Then you need something heavy.
Okay.
So I got 2 things here. I've got a mallet. This is sort of, it's got a smooth side and it's got that pointed
Textured,
side.
the textured side. So that's made for this, obviously.
Right. And this is a meat pounder.
Yeah.
And this is just a heavy flat weight. But this.
Come in.
But let me show you what's going on here.
Hulk smash.
But look.
Oh wow, that really
See?
flattens them out.
It does flatten them out.
So really,
and
you
it
could
thins them
use.
out. Any heavy object. I mean, if you didn't have one of these, if you had
It doesn't have to
a
be
real heavy
specifically.
can or something, yeah.
It doesn't have to be specifically designed for that. You could use a sledgehammer.
Which when you use something like this, the pointed side is meant to tenderize the meat, and while this meat's probably not really tough, chicken breast is not typically a tough
But
meat.
if it was steak or something.
Yes, a lot of people use it for cuts of beef and things like that. Okay.
Does this also aerate it a little? Is that important or not?
Well, you're thinking of cubing, which is like for Swiss steak and stuff like that,
Okay.
or Swissing, some people call it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these thin cutlets now that we have, and I'm going to do my other 4, and then we'll come back and flour them and talk about getting them in the pan.
All right.
So we're making lemon chicken.
So you got the olive oil going?
I do. So we're going to use our electric skillet. I love to kind of, if I'm sautéing or frying, things like this, I love to use an electric skillet. Boy, if you don't have one, you should have one. This is like my probably most used small appliance.
Okay.
So I've got some olive oil in here, just, kind of a thin amount, probably maybe a cup and a half of olive oil. That's going to be our sautéing liquid.
So would you say about 1/4 inch deep?
Yeah, if that. Real shallow. But we're going to, so that's coming up to heat. I'm going to quickly make a dredge, okay, for our chicken. So let me put about a cup and a half of flour here. Then we're going to season it.
Okay.
So we're going to put a good amount of salt. We're going to put, I've got thyme here. These are thyme, just dried thyme leaves. Now you could use Italian seasoning if you wanted to, which has got the oregano and the basil.
Blend.
I'm just using thyme because I really like it. With this, I'm going to put in some fresh ground pepper. If you don't have a pepper grinder, that's fine, but you definitely need some pepper. This is white pepper. I'm putting in black and white pepper. White kind of is a softer, but it has a little bit more of a pungent kind of a flavor, I think. All right, then we're just going to mix that up. And here's our seasoned flour, okay? So then what we're going to do, Ralph, is we're going to take our little cutlets here. And of course, I'll end up with flour all over the counter, but that's
the I Love Lucy style.
that's how we roll around here.
I can smell the olive oil heating up. That's
Yeah,
such a good smell.
It is.
I love that.
And the more you read about nutrition and things like that, diet fads come and go, and one of the latest things is this Mediterranean diet, and everyone says how healthy it is for you.
Because it's a lot of olive oil?
Well, olives and olive oil and fish.
Those are good fats?
Yeah, and those are a pretty good part of the diet. I'm going to just sprinkle some. Here's a way you can tell if your oil is hot. See how I'm just sprinkling some dusting of flour, and see how it's...
Is it doing what it's supposed to
Yep.
do? What is it doing?
It's here. I don't know if you can get it. Just there. You see how it bubbles up like that? That tells you your oil is hot.
Okay.
Okay? So
no eggs in this breading?
No eggs in this breading. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not going to.
So this is a simple... Would you call this a breading or a dredge? Or what?
Yeah, just a dredge. And we're going to saute these up until they're nice and brown. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them to a warm oven to stay warm, because we're going to try to get everything to kind of come together at the same time.
Oh, so you mean after you've browned them in the olive oil?
Yes. Okay. So we'll get those in there. And you can see they're already, I don't know if it will catch it here, Ralph, but see how look how the chicken's already cooking quickly, just in the short time it's been in.
Don't brown your fingers.
And that's because that's what we get for pounding it out nice and thin. We're going to get a nice quick saute.
And you know what I've also learned from you and other friends who cook is that when the oil is hot enough, and it's supposed to be hot enough so that it doesn't make the food greasy,
exactly,
and it browns it more quickly.
It doesn't absorb.
And that keeps the moisture inside too.
Yep.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
Smelling wonderful. Lemon chicken. Okay, I'm flipping them. It's been about 4 minutes.
You can see how nice and golden brown they are.
Isn't that pretty? So we'll get the other side another couple minutes. And then I'll transfer those to the plate. In the meantime, I'm bringing a pot of water up here for a facial? No. For spaghetti, okay? Because we're going to have some nice pasta to go with this. Because once the chicken is brown, then you know what? We're going to make our sauce in here, Ralph.
I didn't know we were having spaghetti with this lemon chicken. That's awesome.
So we're going to make a nice sauce to go with it. We're going to saute. Look at these beautiful mushrooms I got today.
So is the lemons?
We're going to juice the lemons.
Okay, that's what makes the chicken lemony.
I got 8 ounces of mushrooms here. I got a lemon. I got 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to throw in some capers, and we're going to throw in some roasted red peppers. We'll make a nice sauce.
So I like how you kind of use things that are on sale at the market and make a good meal out of them. That's always good.
That's always where we get our ideas, right? We see something that looks good, or we find something that we don't normally see, and then it puts an idea in our little brain about what we're going to make for dinner. That's the fun. Okay, I've got a pot of boiling salted water here, Ralph, and I'm going to put in our pasta.
They say make the water salty like the sea.
Yes, that's what they say, and that's what I'm trying to do. And we're going to bring this back up to a boil here. So cook your pasta the way you like to cook it. And in the meantime, these are the last of our little chicken cutlets. Boy, they look nice.
So is a cutlet the cut or the way you make it flat by pounding it?
It's kind of the cut. You know, boneless. Cutlets are usually boneless, often small. But what we're going to do is we're going to, I've got the other three on a warming plate here in the oven. I'm going to put these on here. And then we're going to get ready to make our sauce, which I'm going to do kind of in this skillet. All right, so we've got I drained off some of that olive oil, and I put some fresh olive oil in there. I'm going to take about maybe 2 tablespoons of butter here, Ralph, and we're going to add that to the mix.
That'll make things nice and buttery.
So, you know, butter on its own
burns
quickly, but mixed into the olive oil, I think it adds a nice flavor, and of course, it doesn't burn because it gets kind of diluted down with the olive oil. Now, look at these wonderful shrooms here. We're going to put these in, and we're going to get these sauteed up in our olive oil. And lemon. I've got a lemon here, and we're going to juice that. And I see 1 seed. I should strain it through my fingers, I guess. That's what they say to do.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. It seems like a quick and easy...
Yeah, see there, I caught a seed. So we've got lemon, we've got olive oil, we've got a little butter.
Sometimes when you're getting that good browned up breading off the bottom, you can use some white wine. I see you opened over here.
I did. We'll add that in. Now I've got some garlic here. I'm using a garlic press. So what this will do is sort of, see how it, I love a garlic press. Some people also grate their garlic, which is absolutely fine to do in this.
But you like it because it reminds you of your Play-Doh Fun Factory you had when you were a kid.
It does sort of look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it pushes that through like that.
But what it also does is it also sort of activates the oils that are in the garlic. Gets them to come out. So now we're really,
now we're cooking.
Yeah, so now the smells are going. So what we're going to do is we're just going to want to have this sort of cook down. I think we need a little salt and pepper though. And put in a little pepper. We'll put in a little salt.
A little S to go with the P.
The spaghetti's got a couple more minutes. And we'll have our wonderful mushroom lemon.
That garlic sure smells good.
Doesn't that smell great? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this jar here of capers. So capers are really little salty buds of a certain flower. I can't remember which plant they're from. Maybe somebody knows. They can share with us. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of capers.
And those are kind of intensely brined, right?
So yeah, they're very briny. They're very salty. So you want to go kind of easy on them, but they add a when you hit one, they add a nice little
twist, almost flowery, aromatic, citrusy. I don't know how to describe a caper, but you'll know it when you taste it. Speaking of capers, we have Neil Hefti in the background doing the thing from Batman. So it's the lemon chicken caper. He's known for his beautiful movie and TV soundtrack work, like the original Odd Couple theme and Batman.
Oh, he's great. Excuse me.
To me, he's kind of like I don't know, like a Henry Mancini protege. That might not be right, but I think they both have such strong senses of melody. I love both Neil Hefti and Henry Mancini a lot.
I'm chopping up some jarred roasted red peppers. Okay, this is totally optional. You could use pimento.
So this isn't for heat. This is for flavor and
This
color.
is for flavor. These are not hot at all. These
Okay.
are red, sweet red bell peppers,
Ah, okay.
right? That have
Oh,
been,
yeah, they are. Yeah, that does give a sweetness. I love.
you know what I mean? And they've been just roasted. And you can do it yourself, obviously, if you have them. But since I don't, and they had them in the jar at the market, I said, that's for me. Okay. So now at this point, I'm going to take a little of this. This is a Pinot Grigio, and we're going to add that to the mix. And we will put a splash of that in there and let that cook out.
And that burns off, like you said, cooks out.
Oh, yeah.
And, like I said, sometimes you can put that in early on if there's a lot of deglazing to be done. It helps get the crust off the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, and I just want to get these mushrooms a little bit more cooked here.
Cooked through, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to put the lid on because what happens is I don't want to lose all that, right? Because we're going to add pasta to that. So, you know, this is the kind of sauce that will evaporate quickly.
So you're saying you want it to thicken a bit?
Well, I just don't want it to reduce down.
Okay.
My spaghetti is done, so you know what? I'm going to get that drained. We'll get everything on a platter and we'll put together our lemon chicken. I'm going to dump the pasta quick.
Do you save any of that
Well, you know what?
starchy
Here's
water?
what I do. I put it right back in. So there's
Still wetness.
it's still pretty wet. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is let me turn my sauce off. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm going to take my pasta, and we're going to put it right in here. See how it's wet still?
Is the skillet still on?
No, I just turned it off.
So it's gonna just kind of mix it all up together.
Right. We're gonna take the pasta into the sauce here, and mix it in. And then, of course, I forgot to bring out the cheese, which I have in the fridge. And this is, needless to say, this dish is wonderful with or without. Some nice.
What kind of cheese did you bring?
Parmesan or Asiago, Romano, any of that. It's kind of good. So, okay.
Hello, chicken.
Hello, chicken. We want to get this flavorful sauce.
So that you get a bit of everything in every bite.
Really, yes, mixed into our pasta here.
And see, folks, it's just a simple skillet away from dinner. That's all you. I mean, that's why you have to have a skillet on hand.
Yeah.
And that's why Kevin says these are such an important part of your kitchen arsenal.
Okay. So now we've got that mixed in.
Can't believe you did it all in there. That's great. It looks so good.
I'll move this to our platter. And this is a nice family-style meal.
So that means you put it on a big platter and everybody just takes what they want from it.
Just helps themselves. You put it on this. You get a nice big platter. You put it right on the middle of the table. And mushroom tried to escape here. I'm going to
just tilt the whole thing in there.
Yeah, there we
Good.
go.
That's what I was hoping for.
Hope I can get it all on here. And of course, you want
It won't be on there long.
You want all that flavor. Okay.
Yum yum.
Now we've got that. Then we'll take our chicken, and we will put our chicken around the platter here, like so. And then when we get to the table, people can just take a piece of chicken, and they can take a nice helping of pasta to go with it.
Wow.
There it is, folks. This is lemon chicken with mushrooms and other goodies, but it's just a great way to feed the family and.
I call it love on a platter. And you can spruce it up if you wanted to add a little more color, maybe some parsley or
definitely.
oregano.
If I had a fresh parsley or fresh basil, that would be nice chopped on top. But here we are in
That is
still
beautiful.
in kind of the dead of winter, and I didn't pick up any at the store. So
A work of art.
Anyways, we had an awesome, great time putting this lemon chicken together. We hope you had a good time being with us, and you know what? We'll see you next time right here on Cavalcade of Food.